Mm-hmm. All right. Hey, how everybody doing today? A lot of y'all might know this face right here. Some of y'all might not know it. A lot of y'all might know my name. Then some of y'all might not know it. But you want me to tell you what bothers me the most? I was at the store today, and I seen a child. I seen a little boy. He was sagging his pants so far down on the ground. I was like, man, ain't no way you can walk like that, man. He said, you can. I can walk like this. I can run like this. I can do everything like this. So I stopped him. I said, do you know what sagging the pants resemble? He was like, yeah, I'm going to be a rapper. I'm going to be cool. I said, no, you're really practicing yourself to be in confinement of a penal system. You know what that is? And the dad was like, man, you sure tell him right. I'm telling him the same thing. I said, you know what? That same sagging you used to do, man, I used to do the same thing. I used to do it probably worse than you. And that's the only thing that do is build up a character to portray people that don't have belts. So they don't have belts, so their pants sag. So I was telling him some more. Things, and I went back and I just thought about it. And I was like, well, let me tell you a just small story. Let me tell you how I was. I started sagging. Sagging led to me practicing to be in confinement. And he said, well, I ain't never going to be in confinement. I said the same thing. I said, I'll never be in confinement. So I said, you probably want to try to practice pulling your pants up. That'll keep you out. So anyway, I started telling him some more. I said, yeah, Rashad, yeah, I'm finna tell it how it is. So I told him, I said, I went to prison. And you know what I seen when I went in there? Everybody's pants were sagging. And when they started sagging, guess what? You see everything. You see dirty drawers. You see all types of stuff that you don't want to see. These people sagging. So anyway, I find myself in confinement, sagging, found out what was sagging would resemble and what sagging meant in the penal system. It's not a good feeling to have somebody watching you. It's not. And people don't talk about what goes on in the prison system because a lot of times they don't want to let people know that they could have been a victim of sexual homophobic. You know what I'm saying? Some have been raped, some have been robbed, some have been conned, had their parents send them stuff, that money to pay off a debt. It's a whole bunch of things that we people that never been on the other side of the wall that don't know. So here's my thing. I'm just going to tell you about my first encounter of Georgia. Georgia prisons, I would say Georgia prisons is probably the worst prison in the world. I wouldn't recommend nobody going there. I wouldn't even worse on my worst enemy. I wouldn't do it. Okay, let me tell you about Georgia. Georgia system is designed to keep, man, when I say keep, erase the majority of the systems that's ran in Georgia. They're flooded by African Americans. One, it's probably 75% of them African Americans. Then you have the other 15 white, Hispanic, and other races. But the majority is African Americans. And how they keep us tame in these places, as we would say, is they give us little technology. Little JPEG tablets. That's what they do. And this is right here is called control. This is how you control the inmates. You suck them in technology. You know, of course, they have phones. They have other little gadgets and stuff. But to contain the mass of them, everybody has to be somewhat equal. You know what I mean? So the less fortunate couldn't have cellular devices for whatever reason. They couldn't afford it because they're very expensive. So that where the black versus the blacks started killing each other for a phone that only costs $9.99 in a Walmart store. But here you probably get it for $1,200-$1,500 a piece. So we're killing each other in these prison systems. So this is how they control the prison systems. They get technology, put a little technology, give you a little bit. It still costs a lot of money, but they give it to you so they can keep you at peace. So they'll stop the killing, try to stop all the killing. But I'll say this first. I've been to the worst prison in Georgia, and that was Smith State Prison. 2010, I entered Smith State Prison. Probably one of the worst prisons in the world. They had an average of two killings, probably two killings every month, I would say. Murder rate was very high in 2010, very high. I met some real good people, and I seen some real ugly people. Probably the worst Georgia had to offer. And we'll just say for what we value out here is way less than what they value in there. Just give you an example: a soup, a 5-cent soup you can get in the store for 5 cents. But if you get behind a wall and you have to buy that same soup will probably cost you your life. And a lot of people don't realize that. I have seen some people lose their life for soups. I done seen some people lose their life for even lying, even for a color, red or blue. You know what I mean? I have seen it. And hey Jihad, I see you commenting on there. Yeah, Jihad, I gotta give it to you, Jihad. That's one of my Muslim brothers, Jihad, man. Shalom Alaikum. And another thing I noticed is a lot of young African Americans. A lot of young African Americans is flooding into the penal system nowadays. Nowadays they're young. Now, when I was there, they was young. So now they're grown now. So a lot of these guys is getting out, but now it's a different breed of children going into Georgia prison system. Georgia is far most the worst one. I'll say that again. And for all y'all tuning in, make sure y'all subscribe to UDR Production Go Love Team and YouTube. We'll be there. I'll be there. I'll make sure y'all subscribe and like it too. And so they're flooding these kids into the prison system, and they're not giving them a second chance. If you go in the prison system at 17 years old, and you get out to you don't get out until you 45, you have nothing. You know what I mean? You done live over half of your life span, so you don't know nothing. So the last thing you remember is the violence. You go back to whatever background you came from. A lot of times when you go away for doing a crime that you did, you know, the system is already designed for you to repeat. You know, so they already got this calculated. They already got it calculated down. They got it for you to repeat. Now, me myself, they say the statistic says 6 months for an African American to be back in the penal system. Well, alhamdulillah, I've been blessed. I've been out almost a year now. Almost a year. We're coming up on a year, and I have not any encounters with law enforcement again. I haven't had the urge to do bad things, you know, crime. I don't have the urge to do that anymore. So, you know, say some places work better. Some places work better than others, you know. So going back to my life behind the wall. For the very first 2 years it was a real struggle. I still haven't found the fact that I was locked up. You know, I didn't think it was serious until you start going through the process of being booked for a long time, and then soonly reality setting roughly around my third year of incarceration. I had got into many altercations. I tried to find my way from what started me down the road that I had came from up into the road where I was going. That was probably the hardest thing for me to figure out just beginning. So it wasn't I didn't finally really get myself together until I started realizing what was to become if I had stayed down the wrong path. I see you commenting too down there, Jihad. Thank you for the like. Samantha, thank you. Make sure y'all go to UDR Production Go Love Team and subscribe and like, okay? So after seeing so much encounters with the officers, how the officers treat the inmates behind the wall, what they do, how they feed them, I'm just gonna run down there and tell y'all how they do it. Okay, for the ones that tuning in and have been there and can relate to my story, you know that the breakfast, the lunch, and dinner, the food that they serve you is all processed. None of it is real. even from the big Wednesday chicken on the bone. Everybody favorite chicken on the bone, but the meat is fake, and the meat is instilled with some type of chemical that's not for the body, because just being completely honest, that they put stuff in the food to keep the men housing in the housing hormones down. They don't tell you this, but in the drink they drink, the drink is stimulated with some type of chemical that reduces the urge to be, for your hormones to work correctly. That's what they do. So the stuff that they give you is nothing is good for your body. All of it is fake. Most of it is smushed up guts and stuff from other food animals and make it to a sausage dog. So it's crazy. So you have a choice. You eat that, or you can starve, or you can have some loving family members to send you commissary. But for the most part, a lot of people don't have families. Now, me, I was fortunate enough to have family. My family looked out for me from the beginning to the end, and I appreciate that. I love y'all for that. But others of my cellmates didn't have family. So what they would do, they would, of course, rob, of course, steal, of course, try to scam. They try to, saying whatever they can do to try to survive. That what it was like behind the walls. But me personally, I had a cold time. When things was getting a little rough on the outside. And had, good afternoon, brother. How you doing? And Robert, that is Robert. MV. Okay, what's up, my brother? How you doing? And I had a rough point in my time, and time where I had went out and called myself I was gonna learn how to be a sewing machine technician. And I'll never forget it. I started sewing pants and stuff. And it was good. It was good. It was good for a minute. It was something to do. It was something to keep me occupied. It was my way of coping behind the walls, because you have to have good coping skills, because you have to realize that you have 201 different personalities. You know what I'm saying? So you have to deal with all of these different personalities in an everyday environment. So every day, everybody may not be on the same page. The guy you was laughing with yesterday might be the guy that's going to stab you in your back today. You know what I mean? So you never can be so sure about who you're around. So me personally, I'm very open-minded, and I'm friendly, and I give anybody a fair chance first to either screw me over or show me what you really like. I give them that. So y'all can pretty much guess what I'm going to say. It was hard for me. I got taken advantage of for a while until I just was like, you know what? Enough is enough, man. I'm not dealing with none of this, because you're using my kindness for weakness. And I had to understand that. And if you don't understand that, you will be used from the time you get in, from the time you get out. Not by your inmates. It'll be the ones you say your brothers. It'll be your some people have jobs in the prison system, so it'll be somebody that's above you, like a CO or something like that. They'll be above you, so they'll use you, manipulate you. So it's all type of. I learned so many different personalities and how to deal with different personalities behind the wall, because they come at you from different backgrounds, so you never know what picture they're painting until it's already painted. So my breaking point was when I had to start sewing, making mats in GCI. I was making mats, and I was making prison wear. And I did that for like 6 months until I actually got good. So I was like, okay, here's a point now where, yes, you're right, MV. He says, and you wonder why the cops approach them when they see their pants sagging. You give them benediction to approaching by the cop. Absolutely. You give them a reason. We give them a reason to harass us. You say you hang out a lot of friends that sag their pants and try to tell them it's not a good idea, but they love it. Exactly. You're right. Exactly. And a lot of times when when we walk by these people that's sagging their pants, that's doing all of this negativity, and we don't say nothing, then that's basically saying we are approve of it. And when we approve of it, then that gives them the right to continue to do it, and don't think they have no regards to the women. We can start by saying the women, they don't have no regards to women around. Better yet, women, they don't have regards to respect for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Who wants to walk around and see what color your underwears are? Nobody does that. In your prison, that's a sign for Rebrusha to come in your room and find out what color they is. You don't want that. So going back to what MV was saying, yeah, the crowd you hang out with describes the person you are. Exactly. What's up, Rashad? No, baby, I'm not talking about you, baby. My wife's talking about. I'm not talking about her. No, baby. Oh, yeah. What's up, Rashad? Man, I was just trying to spread a little word out to the people, man. Trying to let them know what's going on behind the wall, man. A lot of people don't talk about it. They say it's not their problem, but when your uncle or your cousin or your brother or your sister behind there, it's a problem. You know. Make sure y'all tune in. UDR production, go love team. This is my first time doing this show right here. I just want to talk about this, but I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna give y'all another subject. Probably later. I don't want to go into all the graphic. Yeah, I got them coming in. Let's go down. So after I passed my stomping ground, but after I got past my little rough spot, things start to change. I was already getting ready to be released. I had roughly probably about 4 years left on my bid. And hold on, I got one I gotta see. MV says, and they be selling drugs. And well, I have to stop hanging out with them because selling drugs runs in my family. Same thing with alcoholism, witchcraft, drug abuse. I agree. And a lot of times that starts when we're very young. The abuse, the selling the drugs, and the hanging out with the wrong crowd. They're usually what we see growing up. So, that's what we are a product of our environment, So if we see it growing up, then we follow trade. And that's kind of how like the tradition fall down from your mother's mother. Just think about that. Just think about what she taught. Something simple as making biscuits from scratch. That recipe will never change. That recipe gonna be the same however years come down. Your son's son gonna still have that same recipe. So that kind of like how the lines of our children will be brought up with that same type of respect. So it keeps them away from the prison system as we are talking about. So going back to behind the walls of Georgia's worst prison is, again, my opinion, Smith State. Now there are some more worse ones, but I stayed at Smith State for 7 years, and I think that what really molded me, all of the killing of the black on black, what I'm saying, all of the rape, all of the officers getting away with cold blood murder, just strictly cold blood murder. I'll give you an incident. I hope they ain't a red flag, but I'm gonna just say it anyway. I was at Smith State 2012, and it was a group there. I won't say your name because they're well good now. They're doing good, so I won't disclose their name, but I know them pretty good. So, but what was I saying? Okay, so I was at Smith State Prison for 7 years. Like I was saying, I witnessed so many. Okay, I got another. Okay, so I witnessed so much hatred, so much vicious criminals I have ever wanted to ever meet, never again in my life. Okay, I'll give you a story. Okay, and I'm not gonna give no names. I'm not gonna say no shit. So I'm gonna just give you the story. A guy came into prison. He was sentenced for a burglary, a petty burglary charge, and he had to do. The court orders him to do 6 months in a prison work camp, but for some reason his paperwork got mixed up in the court system. So they actually sent him to a high max facility where he wasn't supposed to go. And oh yeah, and well, I'll tell you that later. But he was sentenced to a facility that he had no reason being to. So an all out war went. Hey, 16 president is no exactly. You're absolutely right, Margaret. No place for no one. And this story right here will tell you exactly why as soon as I finish and I'll get back. So the guy went in and he was a part of a set. I'm not gonna say what set. He was a part of a set, and it was another set, and they was at a war at the time, and he was ignorant to the fact. He didn't know what was going on. So he went into the room thinking everything was peaches and cream because he didn't know what was really going on. And none of his set brothers had probably informed him of it. So as I sit on my wall and I watch everything that goes around me, the first thing I noticed from this guy is that he was very young and very inexperienced. Very young and very inexperienced. And he came in there with the wrong attitude. Came in there with the attitude as I'm macho man. Hatred can relate it to that because I hated my mom at a young age for divorcing my dad. But then a couple of months ago, God told her she had to tell me because I still had the hatred in me. That's true, and that's true. That's true. And so going back to this, I sit on my wall and I noticed two things. He was young and he was inexperienced. So he gets in there and he just blah, 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 going real historical about it, just going historical. And it popped. That's the terminology. It popped. It went viral. It went viral in the middle of the floor. These two gangs is clashing at it. They got, they don't have guns, so they got shanks. So they make these long shanks out of rods, out of bed bunks, and that's their weapon. So they shank, with shanks. So he gets hit. He went to the knife fight with his hands. He went to the gunfight with a knife, basically, turned on. So he get hit right in the neck. I watched it. With my own eyes. I got my back on the wall. Only thing I could do is just say a silent prayer for him. Say, God, please protect him. He's a brother. Protect him. And so as I'm watching, jail is big business. It doesn't really better tell you. Now, you're absolutely right. It is big. It is a big business. But it's up to you whether you rehabilitate yourself. You have to rehabilitate yourself. You're right. The jail is not going to do it. You have to do it yourself. You have to want to do it. You know what I mean? And they're there just to make sure you either rehabilitate yourself or they can just scoop you up out of there and you can be another loss in the anthill, what they call it, anthill. So this guy jumps into the floor. He gets sticked by the opposing gang, and he crawls to the door, and his other peers is in the room looking at him crawl to the door. So he took his last breath at the door, and everybody just go to their room, segregate, everybody into their own little section until they're able to get him out of here. Now, boom, y'all know what happened. What's up, Will? What's up, man? I'm doing all right. I just shared a little inner light on a situation I seen. But getting back to this, the next day, Fox 5, just like anybody else. Just like baby, cut it out. You might. So just like my wife, y'all, you gotta excuse my wife. But he crawled to the room, and just like you got Fox 5 next day, all the information come out. Well, here's what happened. We found out a couple of important things that nobody know when that guy walked in the door. One, he was only 17. Two, he only had 3 months to do in confinement. 4, this was the year when Afghanistan had attacked the U.S. So you know what year that was. You know what year the trade tower went down. So that's the year I'm talking about. So his mother and his father was in the service fighting the Afghanistan war while their son, 17-year-old son, get a petty burger charge and lose his life in confinement. Now my question, what kind of is that? You're fighting the war, but your son is locked up in the prison system that you're fighting to save so free? I don't understand. So this is my thing. Life behind the walls, you will never be able to know what's going on the outside for one reason. If you don't have no communication, then you don't have you're dead. And you gotta have communication. And a lot of times people get it misconstrued when they say communication. Oh, I need to buy a $1,500. I didn't say your name right, Rashad. But hey, come on, Jay. Don't do that, CJ. DJ, come on, man, don't do that. So this go back to what I'm saying. It's not what y'all think to the youth. It's not what y'all think. It's not nothing pretty. These rappers talk about it, but guess what, y'all? They never ever been there. They never been there. They go spend a night in the wall behind for a DUI, hold the tank. These guys, a lot of these guys is not living that life that they say they is, that y'all go and try to copy. Y'all go and try to copy these folk lives, and y'all end up in prison forever. And guess what? These guys still singing the same songs. They still copying the same noise, and we're falling for it. That's in the mindset. Yeah, these bitches mindset. Is the mindset is a demonic. You have to be a very demonic person to go and want to stay in prison. Because there's nothing there but death. There ain't nothing around there but death. Nothing. I did got out of me. I did got out though and stayed out though. You know what I mean? I know it definitely ain't easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. I'm trying to do a show and my sister said something. But it's not easy. It's not easy. And I wouldn't recommend that going. Nobody else going there because it's a no man's land. And then the other color people put us there just so we can kill each other, to fight off our race, you know what I mean? Because we're not reproducing, because all our strong, dominant black gene men is behind them walls. They are. I done seen a lot of good brothers. I done seen a lot of good brothers right there that just need a second chance. And I'll be the first to say the second chance is not easy to get. They stereotype you from the job. They stereotype you off top. When you get there, you got 3 strikes already. You got 3 strikes. 1, you've been locked up. 2, you black. Black count for 2. Being black, that just killed 2 while I'm off top. So you has to be strong to make it from behind there. And personal experience, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Sometimes I wanted to give up. Sometimes it's okay. And a lot of men don't say this, but guess what? It's okay to cry when you don't know where to go. It's okay to fall down on your knee and ask for forgiveness, ask for help, ask for guidance. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the real men got those in their portfolio. You know what I mean? Because the man that say he don't have no feelings, he don't have no feelings. So what is he? Exactly. No child is ever asked to be reborn. You're right, Robert. You're right. And at my closing, I want to say this. Make sure y'all go to UDR production. Go love team, man. This thing getting big too. It's getting there. It's going viral. I need y'all to like and subscribe. I did a 30-minute run today. Next time I come, we're gonna get deep in some other subjects. But I just want to share that with y'all, because a lot of people don't talk about prison, and there's some good brothers in there that need voices like me. it's good brothers underneath voices like me to speak out on it and let them know what's going on. Same thing going on in Georgia State where I've been. It's going on in New York. It's going on in Wisconsin. It's going on in Colorado. It's going on in Texas. All over the world. It's going down just like that. And brothers need voices. We gotta voice it. We gotta voice it. Make sure y'all tune in. UDR Production Go Live Team. Okay. Let me see. I'll read one more comment. Rashad Bryant. What's going on, brother? It's good to see you. Rashad Goodwin, what's up? Samantha, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Citro, why you ain't commenting? Yeah, so I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna get better, y'all. This is my first time. You see, I keep looking at that my phone right there. I'm looking at, but I'm definitely here. We here. I might be a clown next time. Y'all, so y'all just spread the word down. One should never be it's an environment of your product. You're absolutely right, Jay.
All right. You ready?
Yeah, we out.
Gotta find truth. Gotta find truth. Gotta find truth. Gotta find truth. Gotta find truth.